Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Mac is back. Back with another video. Hello, the initiated. My name is Marcus Jonikala, and today we're having a look at Glacier Keys by Fracture Sounds. What is Glacier Keys? Well, it's a piano sample library, but they do things slightly differently, and in fact I'll take myself to their website because this summarizes that what it's about a lot better than I could. So they call it cinematic piano harmonics. So it's a Steinway D, and what they've done with it is that they've sampled it based on producing harmonics. So as they say very nicely on the website, harmonics are produced by gently placing a finger on the middle string, producing a pitch an octave above the natural note of the string, resulting in a beautiful glass-like timbre, perfect for neoclassical, ambient and minimal compositions, or any situation where you need more evocative glistening tone. So that pretty much wraps it up and describes it very nicely. Other than that, pretty standard stuff in terms of the functions and the layouts that Fracture Sounds pianos have. Like I've said many times now, I absolutely love their pianos and actually love Glacier Keys as well. So this is not a completely blind demo. I did buy this during a sale earlier this year sometime. So this did come out of my own pouch. Obviously, that being said, it doesn't change anything in terms of what I say in a demo, whether I get a license or not. All opinions, both in good and bad, will always be my own, and I will speak my mind. So yeah, I think that kind of covers the basics. I have other harmonics based piano sample libraries as well, which also sound great, but Glacier Keys has this sort of very special, beautiful sound in itself. But that being said, I have played this quite minimally, so this is not quite a blind demo, but pretty darn close. But that being said, I've heard a bunch of demos on this as well, so yeah. But let's start playing. So this is the completely kind of out of the box preset initialized setting that it opens up with. So let's play a bit of that. That being said, you'll only hear Glacier Keys in action. I've not added any effects, no reverb, nothing. I have a limiter on my master bus, which is there to make sure the level is decent for this video, so that the library isn't super quiet. Limiter is set to be very transparent, so you should have minimal effect on the sound of the library. I might have to adjust it as we go along, so if you see me playing with the mouse here, I'm adjusting the limiter. If you hear clipping, that's the limiter in action. If it's not the limiter for whatever reason, I'll let you know, and I think that about covers it. So let's start playing this. That was the limiter. Let me pull that back just a bit. limiter clipping. Let's pull that back even more. Some of the lower notes, obviously the more notes, the more we load the limiter. So as you can hear, very, very, very unique sound. I actually do love harmonics-based piano sounds, and I actually use them quite a lot on my album Andromeda. I think that's a lot of it is very harmonics-based. It's the instrument by Galaxy Instruments. That's in the Native Instruments pack. Very terrific piano as well. Can't remember, Unicorda is the name. Very, very nice. So I really like the harmonics sound. Gives a very, very unique tone, texture, and sound to your pianos, but you still recognize it as a piano. Glacier Keys has a very, very interesting kind of combination of these sections coming together. I really enjoy this kind of lower mid section. We have this tremendous amount of presence here. Very present, very organic, very vulnerable, intimate. I like that. The thing you will notice with harmonic pianos is as you begin to go to the lower range, it becomes quite sort of clanky and can become difficult to notice the or identify the pitch. Here you can definitely hear it very, very clearly. So they've nicely retained the sense of pitch, but here that sort of clanginess, that kind of percussive quality. And you get those harmonics that can, depending on what you're playing, they can make your parts sound a bit dissonant. But also it's subtle enough, the harmonics, that it kind of enriches the sense of harmony, which actually probably is one of the things I really like about harmonics-based pianos. Because the percussive clankiness, it has those harmonics that aren't necessarily in harmony with the key that you're playing, and it makes it sound very rich. But it's here where you begin to hear that clankiness, which can not perhaps accentuate the melody or the harmony enough. But yeah, I love this range. Very nice. As you begin to go higher up, it becomes quite dense in its percussive nature. You can really hear the punch and the body. These octave doublings don't really tend to sound all that great to me, so prefer to work with just an individual melody layer. But yeah, it creates this very intimate, very nice sound. So what you're probably hearing is, Marcus, what is the stuff in the background? Because there's clearly something added in there. And those would be the atmosphere layers, which are kind of a fracture sounds staple. And that's the kind of stuff that I've praised before, because I feel like they first of all, choose and design them really well. And they're really versatile, mature, just tremendous sound design elements. Even alone, even if they sold this as a separate library, I would say that they're pretty much worth it. Obviously, not a ton, if any tweakability. Obviously, you can tweak the intensity here, which does affect how the atmosphere layers work, but still, they're just really super versatile and maturely done. But in terms of the overall sound of it, I think we're better off starting with the mic mixer. And here's the perspective slider, which I love so much. So it really gives you a quick way of balancing between mics. And I've praised the Fracture Sounds mic samples a lot. Like they actually make a big difference on the libraries I've been demoing. So let's do a close mic first. I've turned off the atmosphere layers here. We'll loop back to them and cover them afterwards. But let's do a raw close mic. Limiter clipping. Going to that close mic obviously makes the sound a bit louder, so. I just love that sound. It's so intimate, so cinematic, vulnerable, open, and has that glistening tone. And I want to praise it even more because I don't tend to be a fan of kind of glassy, kind of glistening sounds. They tend to be sort of too resonant and too resonant to my taste, bell-like. But these are just super nice. It's so evocative, so emotional and soulful. Very nice. I just love this. I feel like, and this tends to be a feature of just harmonics pianos in general, but the top end can become a bit too pushy and it loses some of that sensitivity that we have here in the mids and the kind of upper mids. So I would actually probably take something like Spotlight piano and fade it in, or kind of crossfade it in, to have this top part, because it sounds so stunning there. And you could combine pianos to kind of create the perfect part, but it can sort of lose some of its kind of sensitivity and edge, whereas here you can hear all these mechanical details, which makes it so present. You can adjust a bunch of this stuff. You got key releases, which we could test. So you can clearly hear what that does. It's the sound of the key actually releasing. Obviously, take it out and you get none of it. So you can get very, very audible. Great control for realism, but sometimes you want to kind of remove the sense of a player presence. You want to move a sense of like a realistic instrument being there. So great control for that. Very tastefully done, very realistic sounding. Noise, not sure what it actually does. Oh, pedal. So pedal noise. So you can hear it's very apparent on full, so adjust according to taste. That's cool. And then pedal resonance. I'm not sure what it exactly does, but it's clearly audible when I actually play something. So maybe someone can tell me. And reverb, again, this is, you know, their take on you know, the kind of reverb they want to put in this engine. So it's good sounding, works with the style of it really well. Personally, I don't feel the need for it. If you want to go for like a more ambient thing, then it works well. I would probably use maybe a third-party reverb just to my taste and have more control over that. But yeah, I just like the natural resonance and ambience of the piano so much that I wouldn't feel a need for that. But let's actually go for a full mid mix here. So again, a very nice sense of space. So I'm gonna let's go back to the full close mic. Limiter clipping there. It's really difficult to find a good balance for this. So that's the close mic, mid. So a very nice sense of actually being further back in a space. It doesn't feel gimmicky or sort of forced, or it actually sounds like we're a step further. And this is the far miking. Kind of the same thing, just a step further back. This is the mid again. Cool, and the close. So a very good selection and balance of different mic views that actually make sense and actually are usable. So I could actually completely reset this. Let's do it this way. Here we go. So yeah, and the beauty of the perspective slider is this balance control here, which is super nice. So I'll start from the close one and blend in some mid and land in some kind of a good place. So I tend to prefer more of that close sound to get that intimacy, which I really like in these sounds. But yeah, you get the idea. Again, this is super cool to automate in a mix. So you might want to start out like really far. Let's say you do like a singer-songwriter type of thing, and then you can pull it forwards as you go towards probably the last chorus or something like that. Actually, probably a more better use case would be to, let's say you go through a verse and you start very distant and pull forwards. Really good stuff. And again, actually has a difference in sound that sounds musical, sensible, and usable. So that's really good. I should probably touch on color. Let's do some kind of a mainly close mic thing with just a bit of mid. And this color control I really like on Woodchester piano, so I'm interested in hearing how it works on this one. So let's go all the way dark. Cool, very nice kind of velvety sound. This is back to neutral. So we get some of that coldness and more bright sound coming back in. This is fully bright. So this is very nice because the color isn't just, it's very much like in the Woodchester piano library. It's not just like a just like an EQ, because it just like feels like we're accentuating different aspects of the same instrument. And it's definitely yes, brighter, but it doesn't become harsh. It's like it's doing something else as well. I don't exactly know what it's doing, but it's feels more than like an EQ. I actually thought this through last time when I was thinking what it's doing, but I can't remember. And that was a guess anyway. So, but this is very nice because it actually changes the tone in a meaningful musical way, and it doesn't make it just like an EQ, harsher or darker. It feels like I can really dial in the tone that I want to have for the specific song that I'm working on. And going back to neutral. Sounds like we're getting less resonance in the strings as well. Kind of like a half felt, some kind of muffling happening there. Less resonance, and automatically through that, there's less brightness there. So that's really, really, really well done. And if we go all the way back to the dark setting, very nice, like muffled, controlled, damped sound. You definitely get more of that resonance the more you push it. Bit of an EQ boost there, definitely, but it sounds like a combination of like more resonance. So it could just be different samples there, but yeah, very nice. And this is super useful, especially in a harmonics library, because a lot of the time the kind of glassy, glistening sound of it can get a bit too much. So you might want to actually pull back the brightness of it and the resonance of it. So this is super useful to have. You essentially get multiple versions of the same piano with this control alone. Stereo width, pretty basic stuff. Wouldn't push it too far. Let's actually test it. So that's very tastefully done. Doesn't allow you to really push it to a kind of brain bending level. So yeah, I think that covers the basic controls. Let's go into these atmosphere layers. I'm gonna max out all of them. So let's start with Glisten. So what these actually are, I'm not sure. They've actually probably talked about it in some kind of a video, but I think they take the piano samples, the sound of it, and they run them through a bunch of processing. I don't know if that's done internally inside this engine. Probably makes sense that it would be, sounds to me at least like the easiest thing. Otherwise you would have to sample everything individually, but who knows, I don't know. But sounds to me like there's a bunch of delays, maybe some granular stuff, reverb, etc. going on. So this one is called Glisten. So beautiful stuff. This one definitely I think introduces some samples in there. What do you call it? The kind of the wind chimes or whatever they are, or maybe it's like some kind of processed sample of the piano itself. Could very well be, because they're tonally so close to one another. But super beautiful. You got this pad layer in there, and these what sound like samples, and then some reversed delay elements going on. So this is what I mean by like the maturity of it. This is just stunning sound design, beautiful work. Obviously, you've got to be contextually aware of what you do with it, because again, those harmonics can be pretty challenging, but assuming you choose your parts wisely, beautiful sounding. This one is called Frost. And it's a lot louder than Glisten, so we're crapping the limiter out, so again, sounds beautiful. Similar kind of processing things going on, right down my alley, so I like it. Oh yeah, this one is called Thaw. Again, stunning stuff. I would put more reverb onto that to make it more ambient, especially this mid part here. Very nicely balanced, warm, sort of comforting sounding. So yeah, those are the atmosphere layers. You can mix those in any way you like. Obviously, you got your individual controls over here, but these are just making this library so much more versatile and so much more creative, because oftentimes it is the case for me that I want to add something a bit, something different going in the back of the piano, but reverb isn't quite enough, and then delays can often be sort of too obvious. So these are very, very nice ways of adding some space, some emotion, some ambience in there. I mean, again, if we take this default setting here, you can hear this this balance that is displayed here. Especially on those, when you leave the sustain on, you can hear the atmosphere. Soundscape layers really take place and create that atmosphere. So yeah, super useful stuff. And you can use these obviously on their own as well. Do your additional processing. I like to use these by taking them and putting them through even more reverb, like a bigger reverb, and making them just super, super ambient. I don't actually know what this additional instruments folder is. So let's check it out. This one is called By the Fire. Kind of an upright, more sort of felted sounding thing. Not sure if these are just different balances of things. It seems to me like maybe even some processing on the samples has been applied to achieve this. Seems like to me, but I don't know. But very useful to have. These are kind of like additional different presets that you could go for. So those really extend the offering tremendously. This one is called Forgotten Voices. Kind of an ambient thing. I feel like I could do a better balance based on the atmosphere layers alone. This one is funky EP, but don't expect me to play anything funky because I can't. I think electric piano would be pushing it quite a bit, but definitely has like more snappy, resonant bell-like sound. Ice Plains. Limiter clipping. That's a very nice balance. Very beautiful, beautiful sound. Muted. Oh shit, we were muted, I think. Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I said, but yeah, a previous one I really liked has a very snappy sound. This one is called Soft. very nice, more like a felted thing. This one is underwater. Super nice, very cinematic, super captivating. And those are it. Yeah, nice additions. These are actually quite noticeably different, and I would presume as they give these as additional instruments, these would have some actual sample trickery that you can't access, you know, under the hood. So probably different samples there, not just the engine adjustments here, but yeah, that's very, very cool. I think that wraps it up. Not, you know, a ton of stuff in there, but it's not kind of, you know, that kind of an offering anyway. But beautiful. I just love harmonics pianos. Have ever since I laid my hands on one the first time. Just a beautiful, evocative, emotional sound. So back when this came out, I was super in love with it immediately, just hearing the demos. And I grabbed this because I have a use case for it, so I actually need to deploy it in a soundtrack. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful instrument. If you're looking for harmonics piano, this is right up there. Definitely in the conversation, and maybe you haven't heard one before, and now you did, and you fell in love with it, like I did back in the day. So yeah, but beautiful sound, great controls. Like I said, the color control just gives you essentially, you know, 3 different takes on this piano, which tremendously expand the usability of it. And atmosphere layers just tremendous throughout, beautiful for ambient stuff making. Miking positions, extremely well done. They actually give you different results that all sound great and sound like they're different recordings. So that's good stuff. And the usual noise controls that we are so used to having these days, which is great that they've sort of standardized. Because again, they further enhance your ability to make your piano fit the part that you're writing for. But yeah, love this piano. Was actually a lot of fun getting my hands on it, because I've actively had to prevent myself from just playing this for fun, because I actually need to spend my time at the studio on work. So this was a nice excuse for me to make a demo and get to know this a bit more, because I've literally played this once for like 15 minutes before this. So, but absolutely stunning. I have some very particular use cases for this in the future once I get some of these projects done before that. But fantastic stuff. Go give them, go give this a try. Go give it a listen on other demos as well, and go on their website to check it out. I highly recommend this. It's a great piece of kit for piano. So that's it for this demo. Thank you for watching. No, I fucked that up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Finished.